Hi everyone. Good morning. I
Hi,
hope
sir.
you're
Good
able to,
morning.
yeah, thank you. In the last session, we started talking about how we can read the data from the database. So in order to read the data from the database, we need to use the select statement. Select statement only will be used to read it. And for this select statement, if you wanted to take all the columns, we have seen how we can use the star. The star represents all columns from the table. And we also seen the list of columns. We also come across the list of columns as part of the select statement. Apart from that, we also discussed about the where. The where is used to filter the data. Where is used to restrict the data based on condition. If your data is numbers, how we can restrict the data based on the numbers we have seen. And if your data is a text data, if the business requirement demands to restrict the data based on the text, we have seen how we can restrict with the text. And we also come across how we can restrict the data based on the date also. So just do practice. This is very, very important in all the places wherever you're going to take the data from the data sources. And we are always going to restrict the data based on the requirement. Now, if the business requirement demands to transform the data, transformation. In Power Query, we have seen how we can do transformation in Power BI without writing the code. Apart from the Power Query, we can also do the transformation in SQL also. In SQL also we can do it. So when you understand this when you understand these functions in SQL, you can understand how we can do transformations even in SQL. Let me change this to database sales underscore DB. I have some data here in the source. Let's say, for example, gender is there. So gender is there F as gender is there as M. But I wanted to show in the output, this is a table. Inside the table, I'm having like this. But I wanted to show gender female and gender male. That means you're transforming this F into female. You're transforming M into male. So this is what the transformation. You're not showing as it is. You're showing something different. That something different is known as a transformation. You're transforming the data into required format. So in order to do the transformations, we are going to use the functions. So functions are very, very important, guys. Even for Power BI, it is very important. And for data engineers also is very, very important. For both of the people, functions are important. So not only for this, even if the people are going to work as a application developers like .NET, Java or something, then definitely these functions are going to be helpful. Because Java also is going to deal with the database, .NET also is going to deal with the database, Power BI, Azure Data Engineering. Most of the people are going to deal with the databases because databases are the storages for the data. Data is going to sit in the databases. Because of that reason, whatever the tool is coming into the market, whatever the software is coming into the market, they have to talk to the database. So when they wanted to talk to the database, then definitely they have to come with the database understandable language. The database understandable language is SQL, structured query language. So because of that reason, SQL is important for everyone. So we need to concentrate on the functions. We need to concentrate on the functions. Functions are used to handle the numbers. By using these functions, we can handle the numbers. By using the functions, we can handle the text. By using the functions, we can handle the date and time also. Everything that you can handle with the functions, as simple as that. So in order to handle the numbers, we have a number functions. In order to handle the text, we have a string functions. To deal with the date and time, we have a date and time functions. To summarize the data as per the business requirement, we have a aggregate functions. And to rank the data, to remove the duplicates, we're having window functions also. So running totals, removing duplicates, getting highest ranks, those things you can get from Windows functions. All these functions are very important. We are going to talk about each and every set of the functions. So I'm going to take you through whatever the important function is there for that particular set of functions. Those things only we are going to see. So I'm not going to take you through each and every function of each and every category. The important functions that I'm going to take you through as per my experience. If you want to explore all of the functions or a little more functions, you can go through Microsoft SQL help. Now, so let me talk about with the number function. How the function is going to be there, first of all. The function name is going to be there. And then it's going to open a bracket and going to close a bracket. This is how the function syntax is going to be there. Function name. You have to remember the function name. What is the name of the function? So to remember, at least you need to have some practice with multiple times. Then you can remember it. Every function is going to take something inside the function. Every function, or I will say, I can say 99.99% of the functions are going to take something inside the function. So because of that reason, I'm saying most of the functions are going to take something inside the function. Most of the functions. So when they're taking inside something, you have to understand what it is. So that may be number. It may take a number into the function. Or it may take a text into the function. Or it may take date and time also. It may take date and time. So we need to understand what it is taking inside the function. If you can understand that, then we can understand the definition of this function also. You need to understand what it is taking, what it is giving. So you have to remember what it is taking inside the function, and you have to remember what it is giving back to the output. So here also it may have a number. It may have a text. I mean to say it may return the text, or it may return the date and time. Even bool data types also will be there. Okay, so true or false, we used to say them. A bool also will be there. So every function takes something and every function gives something to you. So that you need to remember. So when it is taking something inside, is it taking only one item or multiple items? Possibilities are there. It may take a single item or it may take a multiple items also. But returning is always going to be one type, one value, one item. One only is going to be returned. It is not going to return multiple things. But taking is possible with multiple items. So we are going to talk about it. So this is how the function is going to be there. Function name, parenthesis. Inside parenthesis, you can pass the parameter values here. And it is going to return something. You have to remember this. So in the first set, I'm going to talk about the number functions or numeric functions. The very first function I'm going to touch is abs, abs, abs. So I told you function is always going to take something inside the function, right? I told you here. So that is what it is saying. It is saying here, abs function is taking a number into the function. I told you it may take a function, may take a number, function may take a text, function may take a date and time. So this function here, it is taking a number. Abs function is taking a number. Abs function is taking a number. It returns. Abs function returns the absolute value of a number. Absolute value of a number means when you have a abs of 10, you are going to get the 10. Absolute value of a 10 is 10. Abs of minus 10. Absolute value of a minus 10 is also is a 10. So abs function ignores the sign. You're going to get a same 10. And abs of 0 is going to get a 0. This is how the abs function is going to work. It ignores the sign of the number. So because of that reason, I'm saying it returns the absolute value of a function or absolute value of a number. The absolute value of a number 10 is 10 and minus 10 is also is 10. So here I'm just having a statement here. Write a SQL statement to get absolute value of a given number. Absolute value of a given number. Give me a minute. Just observe here. I'm going to write select apps of we need to read this apps of 10. I wanted to give a alias name. Okay, so if I don't give it, what happens? You just observe. I'm just going to execute up to here. Let's execute this. Now I'm having a 10 here. Now I'm having a 10. But I don't have a column name. I wanted to give a column name. So if you want to give a column name, then we need to use as alias name. I'm just going to say as apps1. I'm just taking as the name of the column. I'm just giving alias name for this expression. This we can also call it as an expression. We can also call this as a expression. And this is a column name. Or technically we used to call it as a alias name. Alias name for expression, alias name for column. Now if I execute now, you can see apps1 is having 10, comma, apps of minus 10 as apps2. So SQL is not a case sensitive. SQL is not a case sensitive. You can write any case. You can write with any case. Let's execute this now. You can see apps 1 is having 10, apps 2 is having 10, comma, apps of 0 as apps 0 or apps 3. So when I pass 0, it is giving a 0. It is returning. The result is return of this function. Now just try to understand this. Write a SQL statement to deduct 2000 from everyone's salary. First of all, just try to bring some data from the employee. Select from employee. From this employee, I'm just taking P columns, employee number, employee name, job, and salary. P columns I'm taking. Execute it. We know already this statement. This statement indicates taking a data from required columns. So everyone is having their own salary. 7369 is having 800, 7499 is having 1600, and so on. I wanted to deduct from everyone's salary. I wanted to deduct how much? Minus 2000. From everyone's salary, I wanted to deduct 2000. Comma. So here you are adding a new column. You have decided to add a new column. So the process of adding a new column, that what we can call, we have seen as part of the Power BI, that is data deriving. We are deriving the data. We are deriving a new column. This data point, whatever the data point that you are asking that was not available directly in the database, you are defining for your business requirement. So let me show you here, salary minus 2000. Salary minus 2000. Let's execute it up to here. Now you're getting it. 800 minus 2000 is minus 1200, right? 800 minus 1200 is 800 minus 2000 is minus 1200. Now, here if you observe, the column name is not available for this. So this is a expression. I already told you, this is the expression. For this expression, we have to give a column name. To give a column name, we have to use as column name. You have to use as column name so that this column name will come to here. Just observe, as salary minus 2000. Let's re-execute it again. Now you can see here salary minus 2000. In the apps function, you have given a static value here, direct value. It's not coming from the table. This value is not coming from the table. Now, I wanted to give this value to the apps function. To the apps function, I wanted to give. So if you want to give any data from the table into the function, we have to pass the name of the column. The name of the column, what type of data I'm having here? I'm having a numbers. So ultimately you are passing a number into the function. This apps function always is going to expect a numbers because it is a number function. It will not allow the text. If you try to pass the date, it will not take a date. If you try to pass text, it will not take a text. It's always going to allow to pass only numbers. only numbers. That's what I'm just writing here. Write a SQL statement to apply apps operation on salary minus 2000 calculation. In this calculation, on top of this calculation, I wanted to apply apps operation. So in order to do this, let's take a copy of the statement again, paste it here. On top of this, I wanted to apply. Let's make a comma. Let me take this again. This column is getting the value is because of this expression. For this expression, I'm going to apply a apps function. Apps of salary minus 2000 as apps salary minus 2000. I'm just giving some column name here to uniquely identify. Now, if I execute this, you can see minus 1200 is becoming 1200. Minus 400 is becoming 400. So that means you're passing the value from the table into the function. So when you pass the value from the table, then make sure in the from there should be table name. But here we are not passing this 10 from the table. So here we don't have a from. So if you clearly observe here, we don't have a from class. We don't have a from class. There is no from class here because the values are not coming from any table. If values are not coming from the table, we don't need to specify this from class. But in the same place, if you see here in the apps, we are passing the salary. This salary is coming from the table called from employee it is coming. If I take out the table and if I try to execute it, it will never execute. This column, in every line, the column is coming from the table. So because of that reason, from table is required here. From table is required. You can see it. Any doubt with the apps function?
No,
Okay,
sir.
perfect. Let's go to the next function. The next function is very, very, very important. Throughout career, you're going to have a more and more chances to use this function. More and more chances. That is round function. Whenever you're going to deal with the ratios, whenever you're going to deal with the percentages, or whenever you're going to deal with the numbers, then definitely there is going to be rounding problem. Floating values, decimals. When you have all these places, then definitely you're going to have a rounding issue. Try to understand the rounding function. This round function is used to round a number. Round function uses to round a number to a specified number of decimal places. So it's going to round the number till what? Till specified number of decimal places. So when you see the syntax of this function, this round function is taking a number into the function. This number is going to be rounded. Whatever the number you are going to pass inside this function, this number is going to be rounded with specified number of decimal places. You have to specify the number of decimal places here. That's what I'm saying. It is used to round a number to a specified number of decimal places. So what does it mean? The specified number of decimal places. If I pass this specified number of decimal places as a positive, what happens? If I pass negative number in the decimal places, what happens? That I have given here note. If decimal places is positive number, then it rounds the decimal number. It rounds a decimal number. If it is a negative number, that means if you pass a number of decimal places as a negative number, then it rounds the main number. So example I have given here 10.5. The 10.5, the 10 is the main number and 0.5 is the decimal number. So when this is going to be rounded, this is going to be rounded when it is a positive number. When the number of decimal places is a positive, then decimal number is going to be rounded. When the number of decimal places is a negative number, then your main number is going to be rounded. Okay, so let's understand. Mostly you're going to round positive number, but we don't know where we are going to get it. If at all, if you're going to get to round the main number also, then definitely have a look with that. Let's start with the expression so that you can understand here. Write a SQL statement to apply division operation. Division operation means division. Everyone knows about it. Division operation, salary with 3 divided by 5. I have a salary, let's say 1000 I'm having salary for one of the person. I wanted to divide with 3.5. Everyone's salary is going to divide with 3.5. Just observe. Select from employee. From this table, I'm just taking few columns. Employee number, employee name, job, salary, and salary divided by 3.5. Salary divided by 3.5. I wanted to give a alias name for this expression. Salary divided by 3.5. Something I'm just giving a name for this. Let's execute it. Now you can see. I have a decimal places now. I have a decimal places here. I wanted to apply rounding operation on this result. I wanted to apply round of 2 decimal places. So here how many decimal places? Mostly I'm having total 4 and 3, 7 decimal places are there. 7 decimal places. I wanted to round up to 2 decimal places. So how you are going to do this? I have given here apply round operation with 2 decimal places for above query. For the above query, I wanted to apply round operation with 2 decimal places. Just observe. Let me take this copy of statement, take a Control C and Control V. I wanted to apply round off. So here I have to apply rounding operation for this expression. So here I can write round off. The syntax you need to pass, because if you pass like this, it's a syntax error. You have to give how many decimal places I wanted to round. I wanted to round up to 2 decimal places. So this number is a positive number. When this is a positive number, when this is a positive number, then it rounds the decimal places. So that means 0.571424 is going to be rounded up to 2 decimal places, as I'm giving a 2 decimal places here. Just observe. Let's execute it. And now you can see 228.5714285 is becoming 228.57. 457.1428 is becoming 457.14. Just observe here. 814.2857142. So 2 decimal places, 814.29. Because 28 we are having it, right? 285. This 5 becomes 0 and 1 will be added to the 8. So mostly you are aware of how this rounding is going to work. If I have a 5.5, 5.55, something like this, if you round this to 1 decimal place, then 5.6 is going to get, because you are rounding to 1 decimal place. Okay, so when you have a 10.7, if I'm going to round to 0 decimal place, then this 10.7 becomes 11. Okay, so that is how this rounding operation is going to be happen. If it is greater than 5, greater than or equal to 5, then it's going to be round to up position. And if I pass the negative number, then how exactly it is going to be happen? Here itself I'm just giving, and minus 2 decimal places. The same query I'm just going to take this here itself, comma. This time I'm taking -2 here. You can give any name. I'm just giving some _1, _2. So here it is going to round the main number. Now just concentrate here. You can ignore this decimal place. So 228 is there. Okay, so you can see here I have a -2. Last 2 digits from the main number, you can just check. 228 we have it, right? So last 2 digits is 28. Check this 28 is greater than or equal to 50 or not. It's not a greater than or equal to 50. So ultimately, it is going to become 200. It's going to be rounded to 200. Now 457 is there. 457 is greater than or equal to 50. So it is going to round up to 500. Just observe. Let's re-execute these statements. And now you can see it. The first 228 is becoming 200 and 457 is becoming 500. So you can round the positive number, and you can, you can round the main number and you can round the decimal number. Both are going to be possible. Any question? So this two functions are much more enough for the numbers. We have other functions too, but I don't want to walk you through them because they're not, I didn't come across to use those functions, so I'm just leaving them. And the next very important functions is string functions or text functions. So these functions are going to deal with the text data, characters. These functions are going to deal with the text data. String functions are used to deal with the text data. Text data will be enclosed in a single quote. We already know it. When we feed the data into the table with DML operation, we have come across how we can declare the text data, how we can specify the text by using the single quote that we came across it. There are a few functions that we are going to see as part of this. This set of functions will take 2 sessions, the string functions, and we're also going to see as part of this a function inside a function. How we can write a function inside a function. So that also we are going to see as part of the string functions. The very first function I'm having here is ASCII. It is asking a character. The ASCII number of for every specific character. For every character, there will be a ASCII value. So it is used to get ASCII value of a specific character. If I wanted to get a ASCII value for A, I can get it. Some number will be there for this. If I wanted to get a ASCII value for lowercase a, for this also we are going to have a different ASCII number. So for every case, for every character, there is a different ASCII number. In ASCII number point of view, these two are not same. In English point of view, these two are same. If we ignore the case. If we consider the case, then this two also is different. This is a capital A, this is a lower a. So I'm going to show you how we can get the ASCII value for this particular A, capital A and lowercase a. Just select up to here and I'm just going to execute. You just see here I'm having a column 1 is having a A. I wanted to see the ASCII number for this A. Then ASCII of A, this A is there in a single quote. This A is there in a single quote. As ASCII underscore A, what is the ASCII value for this A is 65. For capital A, we are having 65. The same way I wanted to see for lowercase a also. I wanted to see what is the ASCII value for lowercase a. For lowercase a, I'm having 97. For uppercase a is 65. For lowercase a, I have a 97. And then I have a one more function, quite opposite to ASCII. I have a function called char. So this char function is asking you to pass the number. ASCII function is asking you to pass the text, character, and char function is asking you to pass a number. It is used to get a character of a number. For every number, there is a specific character. For every number, there is a specific character. So that character is going to be returned. That character is going to be written. So that we need to identify that. So that is char function here. Write a SQL statement to get the character value for 65 and 97. What opposite of these statements? For 65, what it is returning, you just observe, I'm having a. For 65, I'm able to say A. For 97, what is the value? You just select this entire line and execute it and see. For 65, it is capital A, and for 97, it is a lowercase a. So vice versa, I'm just showing here. So ASCII char is opposite functions. So this char function, where exactly we are going to use? Especially when you are going to work as a Java developer or .NET developers or SQL developers. In that point of view, this char function may help you. So that is going to be helpful when you write a dynamic SQL code. When you write a dynamic SQL code, then there is a chances to use this char function. We can use this function to get a single quotes. Especially in the where class, if you are using a text filter, then if you want to get the get the single quote, in that particular places we are going to use this char function. Write a SQL code to show Saint Anne's School. So I wanted to write it in a SQL. To write it in a SQL, how you are going to do it? How you are going to do it? Just observe. If I execute up to here, Saint Anne's School, if I give like this is not going to help us. This is not going to help because text will be enclosed in a single quote. Up to here it is correct. But if I try to execute this entire thing, then it is wrong. So this single quote, you have to take it out. Then we cannot write like this also. This is not the right value. I have to get apostrophe S here. Apostrophe S I have to get. But here it is having only just S. So in this kind of situation, you can say up to here is one text. Plus, I'll talk about this. What is this plus? Char 39. So it is going to give some value for this 39. We can see here the value of this is having. Here you can see there is a apostrophe. Plus Saint Anne's School. Now, if I execute this entire thing, you can see the output as expected. This is what the output I'm expecting. You can see it. As name. I'm just giving a alias name for this. Now I wanted to write a select star from table name. I wanted to write a select star from table name where job equals to manager. So this one we already seen how we can restrict the data based on the where class. Right? This one we have seen. So I wanted to get the same to same. I wanted to get same to same with the dynamic SQL code. So this entire thing is I wanted to keep inside the single quote up to here. Up to here I wanted to keep in a single quote. select, keep this inside the single quote. If I execute up to here, you can see it equals to manager. Manager is there in a single quote. If I keep here, this will not work. So what you have to do is plus char 39. Char 39. If I execute up to here, then you can see single quote here. So simple, whatever the code is there here, the same thing I have to get when I write a dynamic SQL code like this. Plus manager. Now if I execute up to here, you can see in the single quote I'm having a manager. But one more single quote is required plus char 39. If I execute up now, you can see select star from table name. You can just observe same to same. This statement and this output is same to same. This is what the dynamic SQL code. This is how it is going to be there. Okay. So we have seen these two functions now. The next is concatenate function or concat function. In Power BI, it is a concatenate function, and in SQL, it is a concat. So sometimes there may be slight difference in the naming standard from tool to tool or place to place, but the intention of the function is 100% the same. So concat function is used to combine multiple text values. It is used to combine multiple text values. So when you see the syntax of this function, text1, text2, and text_n. As many number of texts as you want, you can pass inside this function. So let's come to the use cases, then you can understand. Write a SQL statement to get the full name. I wanted to get the full name. My requirement is to get the full name by taking data from the first name and last name. So I wanted to utilize my existed data from the database, that is first name and last name. And I wanted to define by using these two columns, I wanted to define this full name. The same concept we have done in the Power Query also without writing a code. But here you have to write a code. So I'm specifying the database name also here, Contoso Retail DW. We already seen how we can restore the Contoso Retail DW database. We already seen. From this database, a table called dim customer. From this table, I wanted to bring it. So now I'm there in the database called sales_db. I wanted to move from sales_db to Contoso Retail DW. To move the database, you can execute use database name. You can execute use database name is going to help you from one database to another database movement. Let's execute it. Now you can see Contoso Retail DW is there. Or you can also use this drop down to move from one database to another database. Now I wanted to write a code. select from which table? Dim customer. Select from customer. From this table, I wanted to take the first name. From this table, I wanted to take the last name. Just execute it. I'm able to say first name and last name. By taking data from these two columns, I wanted to create a full name. By taking data from these two columns, I wanted to create a full name, comma, concat. What is the first text? First text is first name. Second text is last name. And close this function as full name. Just execute up to here. Now I can say I'm getting full name. But there is no separator. Separator is not there. Separator is not there. The separator is also a text. So I wanted to keep that separator in a single quote. The space has given as a separator in the single quote. Let's execute now. You can see the separator between the first name and last name in the full name. So if you want to combine multiple text values, then we are going to use the function called concat function. We're going to use the function called concat function. So concat function is used to combine multiple text values. So there are multiple use cases are there. Those multiple use cases that I'm going to take you through in the next session. So tomorrow we are not going to have a session, and we are going to have a session on the 2nd. So before stopping, any question, guys?
Not much, Anna.
Okay, and I saved this database, practice database. Just restore the database. I said in the classroom, download it and restore this database. And once you restored it, then I'll give you some exercises on top of this database. You have to understand what table it is. I'm not going to say the table name, but all the exercises are going to come from the practice database.
Okay, so do you have the backup file in classroom?
Yes, I have added it. You can download and restore it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, then I'm stopping here, and we say Happy New Year. We'll see on 2nd.
Yeah, Happy New Year, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Happy New
Thank
Year,
you.
all.
Thank you.